It says, the quality of training has progressively declined. But leave that aside and come to unsatisfactory performance by doctors. You're not addressing that.
You see, that statement appears to me vague. It's just proverbial, calling the dog a bad all manner of bad names to hang it. These residents are not pupils. Okay, these are people that have gone through, because you have to qualify this conduct. It still appears, vague to me. You see, clearly the only reason is this. You have the National Association of Resident Doctors. They appear to be a bit more militant, truly. But it is just natural in everything. If you look at the history of revolution in the world, it is usually orchestrated by, the middle group in age that appears to be more energetic and more mentally engaged. It's just natural. So all you are witnessing is a government that rather than to, look at the issues on ground and resolve it, okay? All you want to engage yourself is the retrogressive tendencies of the past, where people will leave the issue and be attacking. All right. Now, just a minute. See, let's look at it from this perspective. Yeah, it's true that the negotiations have failed severally, but that's not the first time. You have had the ASU struggles. You have struggles of the unions in the the oil industry. He said that, you understand, you won't come and apply that. It's not the first time. You will if you really see, one of the things I also look at is, maybe if some of these are political leaders patronize our health institutions, then I carry, a card of the General Hospital Lagos. I have that. So I won't want to jeopardize what goes on there. Because the minister knows. He's a very senior medical person that pronouncement, that policy automatically shuts down. I stand to be corrected. Please engage him on that.
Yeah, but what do you say to
But if some of these are political leaders attend our institutions,
yeah, but what do you say
they won't
to
be making policies?
Those who suggest that you gave him the idea of that this could actually be done because you shut it down yourself. So while all of those was going on, you never brought up all these reasons when the NMA was on that strike. So it's the same thing.
Still on strike, I think.
They still?
I want
so
to.
there you go.
The NMA not still on strike.
Sure, you were still on strike.
So what does this now do to the strike of the NMA?
Oh, what it does to the strike? It doesn't. Nothing. It makes it more. It's like okay. Let me just be as simple on that as possible. The very reason is to break the ranks. But I can assure you that the Nigerian Medical Association remains stronger. You can see that the national body came out and the policies are clear. To resume negotiations even, our minimum condition to resume negotiation is for government to quickly reverse this unpalatable decision.
Pardon me, let me jump in so that you add this to your response. Is it true that it is Lagos resident doctors who are the chief people who are pushing for this to continue? Because there are actually some who want it suspended, but those of them in Lagos say no.
Thank you very much.
Of which you are a member, by the way. Is that true?
I'm not a resident doctor.
But you're a member of the...
I'm the chairman of the NMA Lagos.
Yeah, so is it true that it's your branch that is responsible?
You see, it is also another sad scenario. When instead of trying to, how will I put it, instead of looking at the issue, attacking it headlong, the Yoruba people used to say, there's one adage, that when you are a physician, whether a traditional one, that prescribe cutting the head off because of headache, woe unto that physician. You are talking of 36 states and the FCT taking unanimous. You will always see this in the papers. Unanimous decision. So even if Lagos had voted against strike, now will give you 36-1. Strike goes on. And shortly before we started this program, well, at least you were just hearing the states one after the other. Was there any difference in position? You saw the chairman, you were just showing the chairman of Ogun State. You were showing Kaduna far away. So how does it become You see,
No, that was on the federal government's decision.
It is the same thing.
Not on the industrial action.
I've even answered your question, because if you look at it, and I'm sure that your correspondents are usually on ground, like the last meeting we had, it was still, you see, there are things that kind of, instead of making it possible to resolve a problem, it complicates it. Let me give you an example. Sorry, Marco. Like, you can see the challenge that we have in terms of Ebola, and as much as even the strike is doing, enemy is making some effort. Something as simple as the hazard allowance was kept in view by government during the negotiation. Nothing is said about this. We're not even talking of health. We're not talking about that allowance for doctors. We're talking of for all healthcare work, for all the healthcare workers. You know, people work even before the Ebola scourge.
But were the salaries being paid while the strike was on?
Sure, yeah.
How long? Just confirm to us. I know we know it's been on for over 2 months, but how long precisely has the strike been on?
The strike started on the 1st of July, so we're this is about the 6th week ever.
1st of July.
Yeah.
It does look like it's been
Like 3, 4
like 3-4 months now. But the question we'll ask is, what impact do you think that, I mean, because you talked about ASU went on strike, oil workers went on strike. Are the medical profession or professionals seeing themselves as just any other type of profession? Do they see that, you know, their calling is such that lives are involved, and that if they do not work, you know, people could die?
People, you see, you have looked at this critically. And if we continue to raise this sentiment, we won't get anywhere. All right? It is this same sentiment that restrained the enemy over the period. There are a lot of issues to talk about. If I start to take that, we may be here for as long as Jesus will come. But it is this same reason, because we are more passionate than government. We use these hospitals, we work in these hospitals. All right? I will also challenge you to please audit these hospitals, the health sector, for reasons. For example, you are talking of...
Well, we brought some of the challenges to the fore, at least on our station. We've done that.
I know, I give you credit for that.
We cannot deny that, but we do not think that this is the way, you know, to get them better.
You will only get to this point when you have an insensitive government. We will keep on. Look at the demand, for example. I will bring one out for you. We're talking of, okay, you have a country who set a target of 30%, who have a health bill that, you know, is supposed to also look at targeting 100%. And up to today, that has not seen the light of the day. One of the demands is implement this, let all Nigerians. So if we keep, you know, entertaining the sentiment, our political leaders care less about that. So at a point, you see what I'm saying in a nutshell is, the debacle, whatever is brought, you know, hardship is brought on the Nigerian people should be blamed. This is not only in the health sector. We have that everywhere. As I'm talking to you now, let me just give, let me give you, before that flies away from my thought. I have some reports on my table now. We have our doctors that work with the formations. Medical house officers have worked for 1 year, unpaid. Naval, Air Force, military, I have the letter. That is a potential problem. And when these doctors complain, is met with threats. Oh, mutiny. I was just having a meeting with them. This system is sick at all level.
Dr. Tokwe,
Yeah.
they say 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Sure, yeah.
You accuse the government of insensitivity.
Yeah.
How sensitive are the medical doctors?
Oh, medical doctors are passionate and sensitive.
Passionate and sensitive. So
Yeah.
passionate and sensitive. I'm coming. So passionate and sensitive that in your last meeting, some of your people wanted to suspend the strike because of the situation on ground. And some of you insisted that no way. To the point that your president resigned, and you guys insisted that he must return to that seat because it didn't pass through the Secretary General. And you say you're sensitive.
You see, let me first correct one thing. These issues are being resolved at that level. The president is an individual. And he may not agree with the collective. When you say unanimous, at the last meeting, there was no dissenting voice. And that's the truth that was on the floor. Then maybe at that point, the president feels, yeah, he's human. But he has also come back to say, please. And you had his press briefing. So these have cleared all that. Addressing the issue of sensitivity, the dastardly act of the terrorists again came to fore, sometimes during the strike, in Kano and Kaduna, within a period of 48 hours. The NMA swiftly, you understand, he will not. Because we have to, what must be done must be done. All of us have a reason to contribute to the system, okay? The doctors moved to the scene, opened up some designated hospitals in Kano and Kaduna. You are aware of this. And all the victims were taken care of.